In this video, we're going to walk through the syllabus, kind of just hitting the highlights. I'm not going to read it verbatim. You can do that yourself. Okay, just want to hit a few, well, more than a few, but things that you really need to be paying attention to in the syllabus in order to do well in the class. Okay, so starting off, here's my contact information at the top, my phone number. Don't phone me though for my office. Email me. I am constantly on email. That is the best way to get hold of me. Office hours are on Zoom. We're online. That's how we have to do it. So there's the URL for my office hours. The course, in a nutshell, the purpose of this course is we're learning to interpret, understand, and evaluate research studies. And a lot of our examples will come from education and kind of child behavioral sort of stuff, reflecting a lot of my work. But the general principles are applied broadly to social or behavioral science research. So that works if you're from other areas outside of education. I should note the course is designed for consumers of research rather than kind of how to set up your dissertation study. This is more for kind of helping us to identify good and bad studies as consumers and recognize the strengths and weaknesses of different studies and different designs, and how to find studies and evaluate the sources where we're pulling our information. Okay. Keep going. Our required textbook, make sure you get the book because we're going to use the book. Get the 7th edition. I understand they're like low, and I don't know if it's just the whole crisis of supply chain stuff, but there is an e-version available as well, if that will work for you. Okay. Software, you're going to have to use Brightspace because it's an online course and it's all based in Brightspace. So make sure you can access and get around in Brightspace. You also may need to upload material as PDF files or as a Word format document. And also watch YouTube videos. There's a lot of videos for this course, and they're all kind of fed from Brightspace going back to YouTube. Okay, check Brightspace regularly. It's organized in that separate video. You'll see how I've got everything in Brightspace organized week by week by week by week, just like we'll see at the end of the syllabus. And you need to go into Brightspace to get your links to the videos for this week and assignments you should be working on this week. It's all there in Brightspace. So check Brightspace regularly to do your work so that you're staying caught up. Also, I will post announcements in Brightspace that will be important, like kind of clarifying questions if students are having an issue with an assignment or something. I may post helpful hints and suggestions on clarifying things or changing some work at times. So make sure you check the announcements. Don't just ignore them. It's like one more announcement from Craig. I'm not going to bother. Check those. They're very valuable. You should get them emailed to you. If you don't get the emails, let me know so we can figure out what's going on. They will always go to your main.edu account. We cannot send them somewhere else. It's just not set up that way. So either check your main.edu every day or email every day, or make sure it's getting forwarded to whatever email that you are using, and check that every day. What else? Let's keep going. Writing, write well, write clear so I can understand what you're saying. Grades are based on a total of 600 possible points. And it's a kind of a straight 90, 80, 70 system with plus, some wiggle room for pluses and minuses built into that. Assignments are all due at the end of the day on the Friday of that week. So week 1, it's that Friday at 11:59 p.m. on that Friday is when anything would be due. On week 10, it's that Friday at 11:59 p.m. unless I tell you otherwise. Everything's computerized in Brightspace, so if you're a minute late, it may be closed and it won't let you upload stuff, or it will flag it as it's late, and you'll lose some points as a result. So make sure you pay attention to that. So your grade, again, 600 total points, broken down into assignments, quizzes, and discussion forum contributions. So let's look at the assignments first kind of quickly, and we'll go into these in a little more detail over the summer as these become available. The first assignment is an easy 10 points. You just need to log into, it's a student background information form. You log into Brightspace, complete a little information form, and it's strictly for me to give me information on you as a student. It helps me to check that you can actually access Brightspace, which is good that we know you can do that. And it also uses some information. You give me a little bit of information that we can sometimes use to help plan and organize future courses. So that's helpful. You can pick up a couple extra credit points that somewhere in the syllabus is a code word. If you read the syllabus carefully, you're going to find a random, weird, stray word that's completely out of place. It's not a typo. It's not a grammatical error. It is just a random word that once you see it, you're going to know that, yeah, that's got to be what Craig was thinking about. And it's hidden in the syllabus somewhere as my way of encouraging you to read the syllabus, and you can get a few extra points on assignment 1 if you find that and report it. Assignment 2 is Prisoner of Silence impression paper. This is you watch an hour's worth of an old video from online, an old PBS show that talks about facilitated communication, and I just want you to watch it and then give me a reflection paper on it. There's no right or wrong answers, but it's a very interesting show. And it's got, again, 2 paragraphs just kind of summarizing it so that I know that you watched the right video. Maybe surprised sometimes that's happened. Someone watched the wrong thing. So write a summary of that, and then a second paragraph that just your thoughts, your impressions. It's an exercise that I want you to go through and think about this because it's kind of related to a lot of what we'll talk about throughout the semester. 20 points. And then assignment 3, I'm going to ask you to evaluate 8 different journals. You won't be able to do this for a while because you have to learn some stuff. You have to read things in the book. You have to watch some videos to know how you're going to do this. But once we've covered that material, once that material is available in Brightspace and that we've covered it, then assignment 3 will be available and you can work on that. And you're just evaluating, again, 8 journals, 5 that I'm going to pick, and then a few that you pick that kind of to get your sense of the quality of the source, kind of what they're, is it how strong of a source for information are these different research journals. Just want to point out that particularly when it's the 3 journals you pick, I want you to pick journals that you hear people around you using, people in your field are using. I don't want you to necessarily try to find the 3 best journals out there for your discipline. If you're like literacy or something, I'm not looking, just kind of what is it what are 3 journals that you see people using or you hear people talking about, and evaluate them. You may not be able to answer all the questions for them when we're evaluating them. You'll see that it's a series of questions, information I want you to take into consideration. And that may not all be available, and that's okay. So we'll talk about that more once we get to it. Then I want you to, there's assignment 4, you're finding research articles. I'm going to give you some descriptions of articles, and you will try to find them, because this often happens that it's like, I'm looking for an article. I want an article on some topic, or I may even know someone will say, oh, Sapojnik did a study 10 years ago looking at this and this and this. And you're thinking, wow, that'd be a great article. I'd like to read it, but how do you find it? That's what this exercise is going to do. It's kind of help you try to see how to find articles based on some limited information. So that's that assignment. And which you can see kind of all of these, particularly assignments 3 and 4, I should say, are really exercises. I just want you to go out there and try some of these tools that we're going to be learning how to use. So it's a way of just, just a good little exercise, really, again, I want you to try out those tools. And then assignment 5 is going through IRB training. And if you don't know what that is now, it's Institutional Review Board. It's where researchers go to get permission that our studies are meeting ethical standards. And there's a whole review process. And upholding ethical standards, as I've kind of got highlighted in my notes here, is critical for a critical part of research is upholding ethical standards and understanding things that have, kind of how those decisions are made, how bad decisions were made in the past, is important to evaluating research. So everybody goes through this IRB training as part of the course. If you've already gone through the IRB training and it's up to date, you've already got the 40 points. You don't have to do it again. You'll just need to download your certificate. You can get it online if you don't have it, and upload it. You got 40 easy points. You don't have to redo that. What else? So that's the 5 assignments. Then there's 10 quizzes. Each quiz is worth 40 points, so 400 points come from the quizzes, and the quizzes are based on the textbook and videos and any additional readings I may have. Quizzes are all open book. They're all open book. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of that. The questions can involve multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank, essay, kind of short answer, matching, a variety of different types of questions that go into these. The one nice thing is I kind of believe in mastery learning, and I want you to understand the material. So the quizzes, I go into the quizzes that I want you to retake them. If you struggle a bit, if you miss material, you can redo it, and you'll be redoing the same. It's not a different quiz. You're going to be redoing the same quiz, and you can find the questions that you've got wrong and go back to the book, go back to the videos, find the correct answer, and you can redo it as a way of improving your grade. That's why we're here, is to learn things. So I let you retake the quizzes to hopefully learn things that you may have missed before. In fact, with the quizzes, I often give you feedback. You missed this question, check the little feedback for the question that you missed, and it'll tell you, why don't you watch this video again? Or why don't you read that section of the book again where that material came from? So I'm trying to nudge you to go back and pick up what you missed. That said, if you have to do it a few times, it's not the same as acing it right away. So there is a deduction that you get. 5 points for your first redo, and then 8 points if you have to do it again, but it's never more than 8 points. So if you do 3 or 4 times, if you want to get 100% and you do 3 or 4 times to get that 100%, you're always still going to end up with at least 32, which would be a B minus. And you can always pass every one of the quizzes if you just come back and stick with it to get that 100% in the end. And if you're stuck, shoot me a question. Don't stress out over it. Email me, and maybe I can give you some insight or explain something in a way that can help you see what's going on. Don't spend hours getting frustrated on a problem or just trying this answer, then this answer, then, shotgun approach. No, let me know, and maybe we can work it out together. That said, I think I just said that said, I'm saying it again. Something that I've seen over the years that some students they'll do well, but they still want to get 100%. But once they think of, well, I got like a 38, I'd like to redo it to get 40 just for my own satisfaction, and so that I know that I understand the material. But if I do, I lose 5 points, so my grade will go down. No, no, no. Your grade will never go down from doing a redo. It'll never go down. I will, if you've got a 38 and then you redo it and get 100, that redo would be, 38, would be 100 minus 5, which would be 35, but I'll still give you the original 38. Your grade will never go down redoing a quiz. At the end, when we hit the due date, I go through and I look at everybody's quizzes. I factor in any redo adjustments, and I find what's your highest score, and I'll give you that score. So I have to do it manually. Something else to keep in mind when you're looking at your grades, Brightspace doesn't do those redo adjustments on its own, so you need to kind of cognitively keep track of. At some point, Craig's going to come in and the grade will go down a little bit if I did a redo. But again, I love it. I love it when a student is doing well and it's like, nope, I just want to come back and master this. So I'm going to do it again. And that's great. I loved it when students did this. And so again, your grades can never go down with the redos. Let's keep going. And then the third area is discussion forums. And the purpose of the discussion forums is to get interaction and conversation online in forums between students. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to engage each other and to share experiences and to share thoughts. So it's kind of they're really structured around that. There's a total of 60 points, 5 points, 60 points across these 6 different discussion forums. The first one is very simple, and that's the bios and backgrounds forum, and that's due on May 20th. And that's just you logging in, telling a little bit about yourself to the class, and everybody can see it. And it's just your way of how we would normally do a live class the first day, and everybody introduces themselves and that. So that's what that one is, 5 easy points. Then there's 55 points across the other 5 forums that reflect the different chapters, kind of broken into groups. And you can get 11 points for posting in the discussion forum for each of those forums, so 55 more points. To get that, it can be any sort of a post about the material. It can be thoughts, observations that you've had about that material. Replies to other people's comments. If somebody's posted stuff and you're replying to that, saying, well, I looked at this, or I thought it that way, or I've had that experience, or this got me thinking about something. If you're replying to each other, that's awesome, and those count. It doesn't have to be a new thing. Replying to each other counts as a discussion forum contribution. So that's what I want. I want the students, to be interacting with each other and replying to each other. So that's great. As long as it's not just ditto. I've seen someone say ditto. No, that doesn't count as a post. But any sort of, it doesn't have to be long. I'm not looking for a post, sometimes someone will post a couple hundred words. But again, the purpose of the forum is to interact with each other. So 5 small, well, I guess I should say, to get the full 11 points, you need to make 5 posts for each forum. So 5 posts for each of the forums will get you the 11 points. But one giant long post, even if it's longer than 5 shorter ones, doesn't count as the 5. It needs to be 5 modest sort of contributions, not some giant summary of 4 chapters. It's because that doesn't facilitate the interaction. The interaction between students is kind of the key to this. So 5, substantive, thoughtful little pieces, but it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be particularly long. And if it is long, it still only counts as 1, so you need to do 4 more. And replies to each other are great. It can be, it doesn't have to be strictly about the material in the book. We've had great conversations where we're talking about assessment, and students have had nice exchanges about struggles or issues that their school has been going through with assessments, or testing new interventions, or finding new programs and things that outside of, kind of applying some of the ideas or generalizing some of the ideas that we're reading about to your own life. Or I think I've got here, like, oh, I saw this very problem in a newspaper article last week, and then talk about something would be great. That's all part of this building that interaction between us. Again, make sure it's 5. And it's got to be 5 for each form. You can't just do 25 for the first one and say, I've got them all. No, it's 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 for each one. At least 5. You can do more. Some students have done a lot more because they really get into that exchange, which is awesome. I love it when that happens. Again, all assignments need to be done unless I say otherwise. It's 11:59 p.m. on the Friday. It's all time stamped, so it'll be flagged as late, or may not let you submit if it's late. Quizzes and assignments. The quizzes and assignments, you lose 10% of the grade for every day or partial day it's late. So if it's 12:02, you've just lost 10% of the grade for that 2 minutes. So don't wait until 11:50 to try to get online to post it. Because if you got internet problems, that's kind of that's sad. Discussion forums cannot be submitted after the due date, because again, the whole purpose is to get the interaction. So once we've moved on, no one's going to be there interacting with you. So the discussion forums, you can't make contributions late. And I also want to avoid someone at the end of the semester just coming in and trying to do all of them back to the start. Nope, but quizzes and assignments, 10% off for each day it's late, or partial day it's late. No late discussion forums. Additional policies, don't cheat, that don't complete the work on your own. You can do study groups together, but don't just give each other answers. Kind of point each other to material, kind of talk about it, check each other's understanding of the material would be good. Incompletes, I just want to kind of note I don't give an incomplete just as a way of avoiding a bad grade or because you've ran out of time. That's policy. We're not supposed to do that. If something, the purpose of an incomplete is you're passing the course and then something happens, it can be, all sorts of things. It might be medical, it might be social, it might, something happens that prevents you from completing the course. And when that does, come and see me. If something's going on and it's like, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to finish, or I'm worried about how I'm going to do the rest of the semester, talk to me. And then what we do is we kind of draw a line in the sand and say, okay, everything before that point counts, and now we'll work out how to make up the rest of the course. So, but it has to be proactive. Policy is very clear on this. You can't, at the end of the semester, come back and say, well, 7 weeks ago, this and this happened, and now that's why my grades have been down. Can I go back in time and kind of just redo everything the last several weeks? You can't do that. So it does happen. If something happens, come see me. If something's going on, talk, and we can figure out how to approach things. There's some other information here. It applies to us less for this course because we're online in the videos, but there's also some issues with how the university is approaching students making up incompletes. In the past, students would sit in an incomplete, student making up an incomplete, for example, would sometimes sit in on the course the next semester to kind of pick up the lectures and everything that they missed. Can't do that anymore. Again, we're videos, so you can watch the videos. All right. Oh, one more. I will not Zoom with you if you're driving. It's kind of, like I said, it's kind of amazing that I have to say that, but it has happened. I will not Zoom. I don't come to office hours while you're behind the wheel of a car on Zoom. No. Other university policies, there you can go to that. They're all listed online there. The schedule, here is our schedule. Like I noticed, I may throw in some additional readings as we go along. Nothing too giant, but there may be some additional readings that we'll have. And you can see kind of for each week, The date starts on the Monday. The due date is the Friday at 11:59 p.m. of that week. And I've just kind of got here the readings that we're doing. The videos for each week are in Brightspace, so you have to go to Brightspace to get a list of all those videos. And then kind of what's due that week. And you can see I try to build in cushions. We finish everything we need for quiz 1 right around the 3rd week, but the quiz 1 is still available through Friday of the 6th of the 5th week. So you've got, at least a couple weeks to do it. Don't wait till the last minute. That pains me when I can see students struggling at 11 something and submitting it and getting things wrong or that. And it's like, if you give yourself more time and you're stuck on something, you have that opportunity to come to office hours or email me and ask for help, or post it on the discussion forums, or, something about, trying to get insight or help with something. It's hard to get help if you wait till Friday night that it's due. So don't wait till the end to do it. Okay, and that's kind of built up. And you'll also notice that things are backed up towards the end. There's a lot of stuff due the last several weeks. And that is simply because I'm trying to build in as much flexibility as possible for you guys. That if there's some students that need to start a little slower because they're busy with work or whatever. So due dates are a little slack up here the first 6 weeks or so. There's some stuff that are due, but not too much that can be handled. But then it picks up later on. So that way, if you need to start a little slow, you can still take the course and just work faster once you're able to pick up speed in a few weeks. At the same time, if you want to finish early, there's no reason you can't turn things in. It may not be due until August 19th, but there's no reason you can't turn it in sooner if you want. And like I said, I anticipate all the weeks will be posted somewhere around July 4th or July, the week of July 4th-ish. Don't hold me on July 4th literally, but somewhere around there. I'll be rolling these out at a little accelerated pace some of the weeks, so that if you want to finish in July, you'll have that opportunity. If you want to finish early, or if you need to take time off, you can kind of you can work a little faster, take a few weeks, get a little bit ahead, take some time off, and then you haven't fallen behind when you get back. So there's a lot of flexibility in how you approach it, by pushing the deadlines towards the end of the semester. But don't fall into the trap of just not even trying things until the last minute. That's the danger, and I always kind of struggle with that myself. That I'm in a way, this can be a trap that students don't even really try to start much until it's the end of June. Then it's going to be a madhouse to try to stay caught up on everything. So again, it's flexible so that you can be flexible, but don't procrastinate. Okay, with that, I think I've talked way more about the syllabus than I intended, but kind of important stuff. If you got questions, shoot me an email. Happy to talk to you more about it. Otherwise, look forward to the summer starting. Take care. Bye-bye.